Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the remaining part of the investigation, examination, call it whatever you want, about the performances of one of the major faces of chess.com, major players on the platform, Daniel Naroditsky. And I hope you've seen all the previous parts. And today we are going to check Daniel's online 3 minutes without increment play. That is his specialty, that is his main mastery, and there is a pretty like established consensus that he is one of the best in the world players with this time control. Yes and no. What I want to say that there is a sign when I was checking, we were checking our team, the performances and the level of play of Dania in these 3 minutes games, and he's playing a lot. It just was a bit of this feeling, as I mentioned already in my previous videos, this Jekyll and Hyde strange story, yeah, because there are definitely quite some performances, both result-wise and level of play-wise, that clearly indicate that he is like top 5 player in the world, at least online, with 3-0, and at the same time there are quite many performances, and when I'm talking about performances, I mean a big like sample of games, not of course just 5 or 6 that anything can happen, but like big sample of games where is really not by level, not by level of play, no by result is showing anything which is even close to top 10 levels. So I mean, like, there are a lot of reasons to believe in Jekyll and in Hyde. That's why I want to present you just a few. Actually, I decided to take the recent ones, more recent, and I will show you that the dispersion, so the deviations from the norm, I would say, is actually absolutely huge. And that's why, I'm confused. That's why, since especially Dania was never really playing much OTB, it raises a lot of questions on top of what I already published. And that's why I believe, and I will prove you again today, that my concerns are very legit. And I believe that chess.com should not try to pretend that everything is perfectly normal. And in my opinion, it's not my legitimacy to judge, but it's if I was Dania, I would definitely try to prove it, play in a few tournaments, not just one little here or there, but like showing, maybe also having the camera behind his back, that everybody can see the setup and so on. It's just normal. It doesn't mean that there is any accusation, but of course there are reasonable concerns, and I believe if we really fight against cheating, and this, as you can all see, it's becoming more and more of a serious problem, we can maybe make a small effort to do something when our results are kind of very unusual. So let's go. Let's start with 3 plus 1. Let's start first with I would like to show you very clearly that he has a very long sequences of games where he's playing on very different level. I took first what I'm going to present you. These are just the games from actually this month. He plays a lot, that's true. That we will, by the way, come back to later, because also maybe many people do not understand that when you play so much, it's extremely tiring. And to keep a very high level, I mean, like this rating, like Dania was recently, I don't know about today, but very recent, like 2 days ago, was number 3 on the leaderboard of chess.com. To keep very high level, very high rating and results, it's extremely difficult. But okay, that will come to later. So let's start. Let's see this. Okay, Dania 3 minutes games. All this is consequent. I mean, it's all games in a row. So there is a period. I will show you here. I'm showing in you that actually the period is very average, to put it mildly. Yeah? So he's playing some players. Well, let's say FIDE rating, because Chess.com rating is, again, you cannot really trust it. Even Chess.com themselves, I mean, people, when they were making some sort of researches, as they call it, they are not really using Chess.com rating often. Well, I understand very well, because they know it as well as me, that this rating, there is so much cheating, that this rating is, you cannot really trust fully. That's why, just in case, I mention here the name of the player, as you see, here the Chess.com rating, but more importantly, FIDE rating. Of course, it can be the case that somebody is not playing much and then his rating is not very appropriate, but I mean, anyways, with many players, it's, I would trust more FIDE Blitz rating. Of course, I mean Blitz rating. And anyways, you can more or less see by names also, you know many players. So here he's playing many matches in a row, and let's check the results. So he starts with a match with certain player Lin. He has very high rating, 2885, even though in FIDE he's 2313. A little too much, I believe, the difference. I mean, yeah, but okay, we will come back to it later as well. So Dania is losing this match. He wins 1 game, loses 6 games, and 1 draw. His caps level average is 82.6. Well, I must mention that, of course, playing 3-0, because there is no increment, you have less time, and also at the end of the game, you just, very often, if the game is long enough, that you're just making almost random moves just to win on time or not to lose on time. So of course, the general level should be lower, but anyway, I mean, I would expect, for top 10 player, even 3-0 for experienced one who is good with the mouse, that his level should never be really below 85 in a long sequence of game. I mean, this is like minimum. I would expect like 87 caps is something like standard for a top player. But here you see there are 70 games in a row, and the level is 83.7. It's really nothing even close to top 10 level. I mean, really. And again, we are talking about 70 games. I repeat, 70. It's a lot. So he's losing the match to 2313 player -5, 8 games match. Then he wins Indian player. He's 2471, quite gifted, but still, I mean, not very especially strong. +1, 3-2. You know, also you see here the level is not too high, 84.8. It's already getting closer to something more or less acceptable, but not too much. And here is, by the way, the average caps of the opponents. I'm talking about caps here, yeah, of course. So 83.2. So actually, if you see the average caps of the opponents, it's 85.5. It's a bit, I mean, maybe a little bit higher than normal for this field. The average rating, FIDE rating Blitz is 2539, but still more or less within the norm. Yeah, so that is probably, well, maybe I would expect a bit lower for this level of players, but it's okay. I mean, it's nothing exceptional. And again, this level, Dania shows 83.7. This is probably, like, it's difficult to measure, but I would say it's a level of 2500 Blitz player, I would say, in 3-0. And he finally makes 50%. Why? Showing actually much lower levels than his opponents, because he's quite tricky with the mouse, which of course it cannot give you like incredible advantage. I mean, like, you cannot win against strong players just because you are good with the mouse. This is also a fake kind of concept, which maybe many amateurs, they believe that just because you are good with a mouse in 3-minute games, bullet is another story, but 3 minutes it's not enough to be winning like against strong grandmasters. No, you need also to play well, and here we see that Daniel played not well at all. And okay, he lost most of these matches. Some, let's say, with wonderful time to Anmin, he made a draw 3-3 and one draw, so he lost to Paravian -3 with 81.4, extremely low level of play. He won one Forest in a long match, 17 games +1, so very equal. 82.8, also quite weak. He beat actually quite a decent Blitz player, Troff. I think it's his name. He's 25-43 in Blitz. Here, all of a sudden, he just destroyed him. 11 wins, 2 losses. 87.7. Okay, that is again nothing so exceptional, but that's already a good level for 3-0. But then just to lose to Robson, 26-56. He's strong Blitz player, and he was just destroyed. 1-5 he lost in 6 games, again showing 82.2. So he made 50% in 70 games, so it means his performance, chess conf performance 29.92. I mean, Dania is around 3,150 in average, something like that, his rating. So much below his rating. And FIDE 25.39. Also, nothing even close to any top level. Okay, that is one picture. So here there is absolutely, you see average level 81.4, 82.6, 82.6, 82.8. Absolutely nothing in common with let's say, which indicates that this player can be a top level 3-0. But then it changes. Then the next one, just after this, he starts some incredible streak, incredibly powerful streak, which is a little bit lower average rating, 25.04 and 29.70, but pretty close, I would say, to the previous example. But a completely different everything. Level 86.8. Okay, that is already very decent for 3-0. Let me remind you here, 83.7, very big difference. Also the amount, again, 57, a little less, but also quite a considerable amount of game. And okay, he starts beating very strong players. Actually, Tabata Bey, who is clearly underrated. I mean, he lost some rating lately. In general, he was always 26 plus. Then Turkish young talented player, 25.96 Blitz. He beat them 4-0 with check caps. I mean, okay, of course, there are only 4 games, but still 94.3, 96.1. So he's just showing 95 in 4 games in a row. Actually, there again also very important to see what level do your opponents are showing. Quite good level. I mean, very serious. So more or less he's 86, 86.8, something like similar to what finally he's showing, and he just destroys them. Can happen again. Then there is some player who is who is showing very weak level. Again, 28.59 chess.com rating, 23.84 FIDE rating. Okay, maybe he wins 6.5, 1.5, again showing good level. Then 3 in a row against the same Indian player, who is he won 3 games with 91 average. So you see, it's a totally different level here. It's altogether like 15 games. Is showing basically more than 90 plus level. Suddenly, here there was nothing even close to this. Here some new period where he's really here, he's playing like a top 10 player. Now it's clear. Then he plays with Stroff, he beats him very badly again, but actually showing not very high level, 83.8, or maybe a lot of long games where he was just flagging, I don't know. Then Pranesh, actually very talented, he wins 1 game with 88.9. Then suddenly he plays with a not very well known player and wins 2-1, 3 games with extremely bad level, boss actually. And then he convincingly beat Tuan Ming. Wonderful time as we know him, +4, 17 games with 88.4. This is already serious. Then some other player, he is 24.69, well, very decent level in Blitz, also +3, 86.1. So average rating, he is making +29. Average rating 86.8. Again, because the opponents were not that strong, finally the performance is nothing exceptional. Actually, he's showing performance of, according to his rating, more or less, which is still not top 10 performance, but very close. But I mean, the difference, like 26.97 performance FIDE wise, and 3163 chess.com. But I mean, those two streaks are just in a row, yeah. So it's a little kind of strange when the player playing 70 games, like really 2500 player more or less, and then already 2700 player, another 57 games. And then I mean, why I'm showing you, because it's happening like this all the time, you know, this kind of, he's going up and down all the time. I understand he plays a lot of games, but still your level is your level, especially when your level is very high. And Danya is supposedly is like definitely top 10 player in online chess 3-0 at minimum, yeah, at minimum. We will come back to it later today. But then usually your level shouldn't jump so much, you know, because, well, it means you are really high level. And imagine Magnus is not going to play 70 games like here or any other top 10 player. I'm sure it's impossible they will play 70 games on 2539 performance and showing 83.7. I don't believe it's possible, yeah. It's just very strange. I mean, and then again back, and now let's see the next streaks of him. Then again, so it's like this well, we are trying to understand what is his level here. Okay, yes, it's only 9 games in a row, but okay, FIDE rating 24.19 only. And actually, well, you know, I would understand if you would see the, let's say, the caps of opponents like 92, it probably would mean somebody was cheating there. But actually 85.1 is nothing so special. So it's not like they're playing, they're cheating. I don't see really here. I don't really see why 85.1 would be cheating. But he's showing 82.9 and the performance is just incredible. It's actually 1 point below 2200 in these 9 games in a row. Yeah, 9 games is not so much, but it's also not so little. Yeah, so you play 9 games with 2400 players, your 2 wins, 7 losses, -5. Performance really like, okay, this is a little lower than top 10, yeah, as you understand. Then immediately after that, there is a streak, 16 wins, 4 draws, with the average 25-25. I mean, much stronger players. 16 win, 4 draws, and check how the level jumps from 82.9 to 90.5. I mean, it's almost 8 caps. 8 caps is like 300 elo points, more or less. Yeah, so it's completely different player. Actually, his opposition is stronger and they play stronger. They actually show very, very good level, 87.8, but they're getting completely crushed. And the FIDE performance is 28.91. I mean, almost 2900. This is Magnus Carlsen. This is already a perform 20 games in a row. 9 games it is, well, candidate master. Then 20 games immediately after Magnus Carlsen is playing. By level, by performance, by everything. And again, you can see opposition is quite good. The level of opposition is strong. Then next even better. There is some player, that's another story which is happening often on chess.com, that we don't know his name. He just, I mean, the account was opened like a month ago or 2 months ago. He's already, his rating is 3102. Oh, he's extremely strong. I don't know if he's playing fair or not, but okay, maybe he's a famous grandmaster, but you know, it's not easy to get to this level, 3102, and but Danya is beating him 11-2 with 1 draw. gaining a lot of rating. But again, you see 86.7, very serious level of the opposition. Dania 90.3, again, to show 90 in quite a long sequence of games in 3-0 is very difficult. It's really absolutely top level. So he's beating him 11-2. I mean, so all this together, if you look at those two, those games are together, and so you see that, okay, finally it's like what, 25 wins, 2 losses, 5 draws. I mean, it's insane performance, absolutely insane. Also level of play is insane for such a long period, you know, of time. And here, since I don't know who is he, so I don't know what is his FIDE rating, but his Chess.com rating is this. So the performance Chess.com only I could calculate, it's 3,364. I mean, insane, yeah. Okay, so now suddenly, and the level just incredibly high. So then let's go. Then after this streak comes, just 2-3 games he plays, and then he gets to this streak. He's playing, he wins 10 games, 1 loss, 4 draws. Again, average level 90.2, extremely high. Again, 87 opponents, also very high, but it doesn't save them at all. Performance, yeah, that is the best. FIDE rating, 3,000 plus FIDE. I mean, there are only very few performances 3,000 plus. OTB actually, in this like quite long sequence of games, 15 games, was in general, yeah, very few times achieved at all, even by Magnus Carlsen and all best players. And then, I mean, I'm talking about playing a decent opposition, very serious opposition, and actually who played very serious level against him. Chess.com rating performance 3-4-2-3. Okay, not bad. And by the way, during this streak, he also beats Magnus Carlsen, as you can see, 5-1 with 2 draws. Just destroys Magnus here. Okay, yeah, that is very clear. It's absolutely top player. Yeah, absolutely top. There is like top 5 for sure, because there are a lot of games. I mean, so yeah, well, so yeah, it's everything is clear now. Yeah, but now let's go next. Then immediately after that, just after this performance, then this streak comes: 5 wins, 18 losses, 4 draws. Then he continues playing with Magnus, but already, you know, he wins 2 games, loses 12 with 3 draws, and then loses many more games. So finally, his performance is 25-13 FIDE, 3-05, and 25-14, 25-13. His Chess.com performance 29-54, and you see how level drops, I mean, enormously, 84.2. Okay, 82.9, and then in between 90.3 or something. And I mean, those are for professionals. You know, you know, it's very rarely happens that your level, you know, goes like, you know, your chess level is not a pair of socks. It's you cannot just so easily change it. You know, like your level every I don't know, few hours. You're changing every day. Yeah, you cannot play like 25-13. At least it's very unusual. 25-13, then 3,000, then 2,200, 2,900. It's really kind of strange. Yeah, I mean, you will not find it in my games. I mean, such a gap of level, which is, yeah. And by the way, yeah, then also this is just a small kind of on the side. Yeah, the thing that, for instance, in some of these streaks, not actually in this one, but he played very few, like 6-7 games against these players. And this is also a problem of Chess.com. I mean, how come that a player of 2878 on Chess.com, his FIDE rating is 2096? I mean, and actually he's quite active. I mean, he played 13 games during last like half year. So he's playing OTB Blitz, and he's less than 2100. You know, FIDE, but here he's almost 2900. I mean, comparable to my level. Is it like he's FM and 2 other guys, they don't have even a title? The same story, 2862 2049, 23 games. So he's playing OTB, he cannot get to 2100, but for some reason on chess.com he's 2862. And the same here, 2812 to 2040 FIDE rating. Okay, it's do you believe all three of them are really, you know, clean? Because like the difference is like, I don't know, 800 points between your FIDE rating and chess.com rating. But there are so many people like this, so you can actually gain a lot of rating just playing these people. But yeah, it's clearly just shows that chess.com doesn't want to clean their platform from such players, which are quite, I would say, very dubious. Yeah. But then, yeah, so this is just those are just examples of, well, very weird, like, you know, like American mountains, yeah, or Russian mountains. Actually, in Russia we call it American mountains. In US they call it Russian mountains. Yeah, when you just go up and down, and there are many more like this. Yeah, but that is another. I wanted to explain you also that actually it is, I mean, very difficult to keep your level when you are playing so much. I calculated just the clear time when Danya is playing. For instance, I took 5 days from the 1st to the 5th of October. This is the rating change, so during a day, so more or less here he keeps his rating, and here actually the day he plays most, he gained more than 100 rating points in 132 games. I more or less calculated his time spent only playing. I don't even mean talking in between, or you need to eat also and so on. For instance, here 7.5 hours this day, 1st of October, but the record was 4th of October, 9 hours 10 minutes. Yeah. Well, you know, how can you keep it's exhausting. I mean, like if you play on your own, yeah, here 7 hours. I'm professional player, and you know, I mean, his opponents are not weak. He's not playing weak opponents. I mean, every game is a small stress. Is like you need to concentrate. I mean, how can you do it for 9 hours? We all play, you know, World Championships and Blitz World Championship. Okay, it takes few hours, but you're exhausted after each playing day. It is tiring, really, to play 132 games. 3-0 games, I mean, like in 9 hours in one day, and actually playing incredibly well. So he gained 100 elo points. I mean, it also raises questions. I mean, like it's he has to be incredible athlete also. I mean, just your brain starts to collapse at some point when you play so much normally. Okay, just a small thing which, I mean, people do not maybe realize that, like Hikaru, he's playing 5 hours in a row, and he's just making this 100 games winning streaks or whatever. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, his opponents are always new. He always gets new, fresh opponents, and person is simply getting tired. On top of it, talking. So for me, it's a miracle. You can play for 9 hours a day. Talking, streaming, and at the same time you play on extremely high level. So to gain 100 points, it means probably he was playing this day on like 3,300 level, the full day, 9 hours. Strange, again, another strange thing. Then let's go. Yeah, here before I wanted now in the second part to present you also this Jekyll and Hyde story about him playing different opponents. You know, so you see, I presented this is my record on the platform against different players of strong level, and you see it's very, very close. Yeah, quite many games I play, 55, 45, 34, 41. But you know, it's as I explained in my previous video, it's all very, very like logical. Everything is very clear. With the very top players, I'm around 40% I'm making. With already a little bit lower level, around 50%. Yeah, in a big amount. So I mean, when you play many games, usually it starts to levelize. You can, I mean, there are no huge gaps. Yeah. Only against Dania I have less than 30%, no one else actually. And also I don't have like crazy performances. Yeah, when I play quite a long series of games, let's say more than 20, it's always within a certain, frame of, from, if you can see here, from 35% to 50 to 60%. Yeah, it's in this margin, and also it's very logical. Stronger is a player, lower is my result. Yeah, that's how it should be normally. And now, so the deviation, dispersion is not huge here. It shouldn't be normally, but when I was checking Dania, okay, there was like crazy things, really crazy. So now I'm going to present you, I called it, okay, let's start with this Jekyll and Hyde story. So let's go. So his performance, I took all the games 3-0 because he plays a lot, which he played with first, my presentation, top players, really like top players, 27 plus, or even I think top 10 here players. So the performances are very different. So here he played, few matches with Daniil Dubov, 2806, very high rating. He's in top 5. So he won, here when I make this, it means he won the match. So he won 3 matches out of 4. One is 12-5, like completely crushed Daniil Dubov, who is also extremely good on seconds. Believe me, he is not bad at all. So you cannot, and anyway, such a strong player, you just cannot beat, him like this. Yeah, I mean, not being extremely strong yourself. Okay, 12-5 against Dubov is quite something. Then another match, next match he loses, 10-14. Then again 5-2 and 6-4. So all in all, 33 wins, 25 losses, 9 draws, 56% of points. While clearly he's superior. Yeah, this year at least, it's from January 2024, he's better than Daniil Dubov. 3-0. So it means, well, yeah, he's a very top player. Yeah. Okay, let's go now here. Let's see Hyde side. Magnus Carlsen, also from this year. Okay, of course, I understand Magnus is very strong, but Dubov is also extremely good. Yeah, he was actually fighting for the first place with Magnus in the last World Championship, and his rating is like 80 points lower only than Magnus. Here he lost all matches, all 6 matches he played, and very considerable, like 13-28, 2-6. Still okay, not so bad performance, but 33.6%, 30 wins, 66 losses, 14 draws. Doesn't really indicate a top like 5 or top 10 player. Yeah, normally you should score more even against Magnus if you are so good. Yeah, so here there is no real indication of like absolutely top player. Okay, let's go back then. Let's see now, what about playing with Wesley So? Top 10 player, 27.97. Oh, come on, he is not only top 10. I mean, Dania, he's top 3 player. 16 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. 85% of points. His average in this match was, in these 2 matches, was over 90. I mean, and I checked, by the way, the match, and please don't tell me that he's flagging. No, he's not. He's completely destroying Wesley by purely chess-wise. There was no game when he was flagging. He's just winning one after another. I just show you quickly here. Yeah, this is, you see, okay, this is, it's just beating him like crazy. Simply and check this, check 95.4, 96.4, 96.6, 97, 90.8. Okay, one unfortunate game, and then again 92, 94.7, 95.8. It's 3-0. I mean, and by the way, the level of Wesley is not bad at all. 87.4, almost 90. Here 91.9, 86, 90.3. Here 93.5, 93.9, but he just cannot. I mean, and I checked the game, you can see the games also, it's just amazing level, like it's just better than, I mean, there is no doubt, there are many games and absolutely no doubt that he's simply a much better player than Wesley So. 3-0. Not easy to achieve. I mean, 16 wins, it's 20 games, yeah? 16 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. 85%. Just destroys Wesley. And again, there is nothing about flagging. No, he destroys it purely, like playing much, much better. Okay, then Hyde, Hikaru Nakamura, and also from this year, 32.7%. He's losing every match again. Yeah, no, he actually made the draw once for 4, short match, but then he loses like 1-9 with 5 draws, 7-15, 2-9. I mean, getting totally crushed. 19 wins, 47 losses, 15 draws, 32.7%. Not really looking like a top 10 player, right? I mean, a bit, even playing with Hikaru, a bit too little for absolutely top player. Okay, then let's come back. Now, Jekyll, here, Fabiano Caruana, this year, 70.4% against Fabiano, also top 10 player, 27.96. So 5 wins, 1 draw. First match, he wins all 3 matches. 12 wins, 6 losses. 17 wins, 6 losses, and few draws. 32 wins, 12 losses, 8 draws. 70.4%. No, but this is, yeah, it's a top 5 player for sure. Yeah, you cannot be not top 5, not to score such amount of points against Fabiano Caruana. And again, Fabiano is also very good, with a mouse, and he's very quick. Destroys Wesley, destroys Fabiano. Okay, let's come back. Now Hyde again. Firuja. Okay, a little bit better performance, but losing all 5 matches again. 2-10, 1 draw. Okay, 2-3. No, here 1 match he drew actually, but then 12-20, 8-13. Well, he kind of fights, but very clear. I mean, there is nothing in common. One player is much, much better, yeah? 30 wins, 52 losses, 9 draws, 37 and 9%. Okay, let's check here. So, yeah, this is all about top 10 players, and here, yeah, so, then a short match with Jan Nepomniachtchi. But, okay, of course it's too short to judge so much, but still, 1 win, 6 losses, 1 draw, 18.8%. Well, obviously, he would score a bit more if he would play more, but yeah, it's getting crushed by Nepo. So, what is the level? I mean, I just don't get it. Normally, I'm sorry, I want to show you again. Yeah, how can it be such a huge deviation? They're all top 10 players. Yeah, of course, some are a little stronger, a bit weaker, but they're all more or less the same. I mean, here I have, well, very similar level players here, but it's very close. It's very close. And then when I'm playing a bit weaker players, well, it's also, okay, there is one match which I have my questions, but otherwise, it's pretty cool, plus minus 10%, but not like this, not 85 against Wesley and then 32 against Hikaru. It's kind of, it's strange, yeah, again, yeah. But then, yeah, so then, sorry, let's go to, yeah, so this is, and now let's take, okay, you can say those are just very strong players, really completely top, Carlson, Nakamura, Firuja. Not that actually those are weak players, Dubov, So and Caruana, but for some reason deviation is absolutely incredible. But let's go to a little bit lower level players, yeah, again. So let's see, here is Jekyll again. So wonderful time. Yeah, okay, it's a bit of a question why the player of 25-30 blitz level, even though he doesn't play much, he's like 3050, 3100 on chess.com, but at least he's playing. Nobody pretends there is anything wrong with him. I mean, at least chess.com doesn't pretend. So he is quite often in prizes. He's stable 3050, 3100 player. So against him, he plays how many matches? 8, 12, 14 matches. I think only one ends in a draw, this one. And he wins. This is all they like to play each other. This is all, again, the same parameter, 2024 from January. He's just crushing him. 90 wins, 38 losses, 28 draws. A lot of games. Not very high percentage, only 66.7 because a lot of games, but still 14-3. He beats him 13-4. Some matches are 11-3. I mean 8-1 with one draw, 8-1 with one draw. Just destroying this player who is supposed to be a very, very top, kind of very strong, player online at least. Okay? So this is performance, 90 wins, 38 loses against 3050 player, stably 3050. Okay, it is, again, it's very top level. Now let's see his performance against Parham Maksadlu this year. Yeah, he made one draw in a match, and then finally he's badly losing every match. Actually, two matches he drew. Then 16-28 he's losing, 7-12, 8-14, 12-15. So he's in deep minus. Okay, again, because of many games, it's only 45.4%, not lower, but still 68 wins, 83 losses, 11 draws. Parham is a very good player, of course, but was never really considered to be like absolutely top level. 3-0 even. His rating is about 3,100, 3,150 maybe, but not higher than Danya's for sure. Okay, he's just losing a lot of games all the time. He's clearly inferior to him, too many games to have doubts. Okay, yeah, so how come? Yeah, so he's not top player 3-0. It seems he's not. Okay, now let's check. Maybe he is finally. Yeah, let's check. Let's say Sugirov. Very good, 26-20, but very solid blitz player, and he is around 3,000 on chess.com. Okay, winning convincingly 3 matches, not that many games, but still 19-6 with 3 draws, 73.2%. Okay, so he is very, very strong, Danya. Or maybe not. Let's check his performance with Nihal Sarin. Well, yes, Nihal is 27-11, but still, like, he's strong, he has high rating, but their ratings are comparable on chess.com at least, yeah? And at least all these players are, according to chess.com at least, are playing fair. Otherwise, I suppose they would not play. So he's getting they play a lot, completely destroyed by Nihal. He won 2 matches at the very beginning, even though very short, like 2-1. Then he won 1 match, and I think maybe 1 more draw. He lost almost all matches. They played 23 matches. I think he lost 19 or 20. And some are like completely getting crushed, like 8-15. This is not the worst. The worst was there was something really, really bad, like 1 draw, 6 losses, 3 wins, 11 losses, and so on. Again, no 3 wins, 17 losses, 12-25. Okay, 123 wins, 224 losses, 41 draws, so 37%. It cannot be a top 10 player again. So how is it like always different? It's always changing. Like with some players he's top 3, with some players he's barely top 20, probably not even, yeah. And this is like, and then just few more let's say performances which shows that, well, against some players who are actually not that incredibly strong, but he's not in quite a long sequence of games, he's not like showing this absolutely top level. This is a high side. Warmer Dam, this young talented Dutch player, well, 25-42, FIDE blitz rating, probably a bit underrated, but still is not like, top. But yeah, they played 2 matches, all in all, not so few games, 28 games, he's in minus, 9-10, he loses with 3 draws, and 2-4, he loses both matches, 44.6%. If you're like really top 10, top 5 player, even if a player like this is underrated, you should, in 28 games, you're supposed to beat him anyway. Anyways, yeah. But it's not happening. Then Andrew Tang, okay, he's a well-known bullet player, but 3-0 is not bullet, yeah. and his rating is 2556. Very decent, of course. Well, good blitz player, but again, nobody pretends that in 3 minutes game he's anywhere close to top. Yeah, many games he won match, 2 matches they drew, and one he barely won. 18-16 for draws, so more or less equal, 52.6%. No real superiority in a considerable amount of games, 38 games. But he's supposed to be 3-0 genius. Then Paravian, also good, of course, good blitz player, 25-75, maybe a bit underrated, should be 26 plus, but still was never 27, obviously. Yeah, a lot of matches again here, and finally, well, actually, if not this match where he suddenly destroys just 9 wins, 2 draws, destroys Paravian, otherwise he actually lost like 2 matches, he won 2 matches, 1 draw. Almost, okay, little advantage for him against Paravian, 54.5%. Again, like these 3 matches, you see, he's playing people below 2600 and is not showing, it's altogether like, I don't know, maybe 100 games, he's not showing any real superiority. So it's like, you can check Firuja, you can check Magnus, you know, of course they can play not well for few games, but in like 50 games in a row, or like you take these players and you check, I'm sure he's going to have huge plus. So it's all, I mean, that's this kind of Jekyll and Hyde is, and I only took this year, and it's like continuously in his performances, and that is not normal again. So that is just another, especially playing against top players, like 4 of them he's just losing crazily, like, you know, terribly, and 3 he beats like altogether more than 70%, yeah, I guess he scores around 70%. And then the others he's scoring 30, I mean like 35% or something. It's and the average rating is very close. So like, okay, yeah, of course those 3 are a bit stronger, yeah, definitely, than these 3, but not to such extent that here you are crushing them and this you are losing like really like without a chance. So okay, that was another, like, I wanted to finish with this, and just to explain that, okay, if we are more or less serious about, it's not, again, I want to repeat, it's not an accusation, but there are too many actually points, and which I raised in several videos about Danya, that it's completely obvious, I believe, to everyone that he has to be checked very carefully. I mean, if he proves that his level is really high, okay, yeah, everybody will accept it. But it's not like proving to play few games here or few games there. First of all, there were few questions, very serious questions, which he and Chess.com should seriously ask, not just give some nonsense explanation, which is easily refuted, but really seriously answer about these glances, about other things. Check this whole story from the beginning, this serial of me. Then players like that, like Danya, must be examined. I mean, must play quite some time under surveillance, must play OTB. Again, it is my opinion. It's not like, okay, if Danya thinks that he has nothing to prove, well, it's his right to think like this, but majority of players, and I guess of public, do not, I believe, after what I've shown you in all those videos, I don't think they would believe. I mean, it's very obvious he needs to prove that he's playing fair. I really hope so, but you know, too many arguments, and serious arguments, which I presented to believe on word. Just, yeah, because he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's maybe a nice guy. He seems to be a likable person, but I'm sorry. Yeah, everybody is equal in this sense, and you cannot just judge by emotions. You like a person or you don't like, and that's why, you know, one guy has to prove something, another one doesn't have to prove because he's very nice. No, this is not the way it works. So that was that was the idea of the serial, and there are quite a number of players, much more than time I have to examine, to present you these videos. But I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked this was a very detailed, very argumented, let's say, concerns. And we'll maybe try to prepare, not immediately, I need to rest a bit, it took me quite some time, but I would like to prepare maybe some other where clearly chess.com is not doing their job, which is really to examine this player, to make him play under surveillance for quite a long time, and to explain us, his opponents, in many events also, by the way, why all this fits. Because to me there are too many things which are very unusual, which are not fitting into any, like, even deviation of a standard. So that's why I'm sorry, before I get a very serious explanation, serious answers on many questions which I raised in this serial, I'm sorry, I will not it will not be enough for me just some general wording or some cheap kind of explanations. No, sorry, it is very serious. If we are really if you really fight against cheating, if you really want to make sure that players are playing fair, it's also about money, a lot of money also, all in all. If you it's and so no, sorry, but everybody has to go through very serious doping control. Like in sports, here we have another doping control, but this thing, it just cannot be ignored. That's my point. And thank you for your attention.